fact. That was.
No more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
What's up, horror fiends? Your boy Ricky Grimes back at it once again. Horror Fiend TV. You're watching the three corners of horror. I'm with my boy JR. What up, son?
Oh, it's gonna be an interesting one. Are we doing a Netflix special or is this a CW special?
CW, as in like Arrow and shit?
Like CW Malaysia.
Oh, what up, Joe the psychologist?
What's up?
Joe brought this movie to our attention. So
No,
Joe
I
the
did not.
psychologist-
Hold on. I'm gonna
Took us
first say, I used a Rotten Tomatoes list. So
Listen.
I'm gonna go with I was on Rotten Tomatoes trying to find something new for us.
I'm the one that suggested Psycho Gorman, and I took the heat for that. So I think it's only appropriate you take some of that heat tonight. What up, Joe? How are you, brother?
I'm good. Hey, if anything, maybe I found one movie to prove that not all Asian horror is great.
The film we will be discussing tonight is the Netflix original 2022 Malaysian film Possessed. Original title is RASUK, directed by James Lee. This film's zombies are more influenced by Dario Argento than George Romero, but that's all right. Let's get the party started. With that, I say we all cheer for big bottles of beer. Salute, my brothers. We're back. Oh, man, I miss beer. All right. So let's get started. What did you think about this Malaysian zombie movie? Joe, I'll be looking at you, son.
All right.
Holla at your boy, kid.
So I'll be honest. I kind of went in a little bit looking forward to it. As I said, I went to Rotten Tomatoes. It said something about possessed zombies, something I'd never heard of. So I was like, hey, something new. Let's check it out. And then as I was watching it and I got about halfway through, I was like, oh no, they're gonna kill me. Here's the thing. It's low budget, if anything. So, we're probably gonna chastise it, but at the same time, it's low budget, it's amateur. It has the feel of a first-time director trying to do a big movie. So yeah, I'm just gonna blame Rotten Tomatoes. It wasn't me, guys.
JR, the boss. How about you, my friend?
I remember when I was about to sit down and watch this film, I turned on Netflix and first thing I see is TV 14.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
It's funny because JR immediately texted me, yo, you know this is TV 14, right? I'm like,
I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that part.
Yeah, it's not really hard.
Well, at least it's not PG-13.
All right.
We got 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, maybe they should just probably been better PG-13 because I don't think that 14 helped. But I guess it had potential. The TV 14 definitely hurt it big time. The plot line was a little bit. It was poorly done. I mean, there's so much about this film that wish they would have went another way. But I mean, just to let you know how I felt when I was watching this film is the minute they go back to the school and they're sneaking in, I'm like, all right, so these are kids who are constantly getting in trouble. So they get past to this point where in the background you got people playing soccer. I'm like, why the hell are they sneaking in there? If you got people outside playing at night, what the hell's going on?
Well, because you had to show up early and sign in, so they missed the sign in. Yes, I guess that makes it 14, doesn't it?
Damn,
Yes,
this guy was paying attention.
Yeah, so I'm like, and I be honest, I sat there.
I missed it too.
Times. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, oh my god, these guys. And right off the bat, I'm like, oh, here we go. And then there's a scene where this guy, I gotta say it, when he's in the hallway, he's like shaking. And if you're a fan of the Hulk from back in the 70s, every time he used to change his face to turn green in the lighting, same thing happened. This guy was a Hulk possessed zombie, if that's possible. But it was, like I said, it had potential, but man, it was definitely tough to watch.
it's like if you turn on Sci-Fi Channel one Saturday afternoon, right, and you're bored, you kill in
comparison.
time, and it's on. You're not gonna be like, oh god, I can't watch it. You're gonna be like, what the fuck?
It's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi movie.
It's yes. Essentially it is essentially a sci-fi movie. But I knew immediately I wasn't gonna be thrilled because I slow mo in horror movies. I fucking hate it, bro. If done right. Now, The Devil's Rejects, that's good slow motion. The final sequence with Leonard Skinner's Freebird, that's well. But here, it's got that janky slow motion. And GR said it best. One way to find out if you're a low budget film is by using slow motion. And the way they use it and they overdid it. It's so many slow motion scenes here that besides the lack of gore, bro, I was like, come on, I hate slow motion. Just takes me out. It's got to be done right. But one thing I will say though, I did enjoy the possessed zombie route they took with it. On paper, it's a really good idea.
Literally, why I said let's do this one.
Yes.
Possessed zombie.
Yeah, it's GR. That premise though, the possessed zombie. We've seen it before, but of course, it's not overly, in my opinion, it's not overdone, right? We got, like I mentioned before, Dario Argento with Demons, for example, What did you think about that?
I would have preferred demons over possessed zombies, to be honest. I think,
Yeah, because there's a lot of demonic influence.
I'll be honest, I didn't get zombies for a while because the fact that, like one character, which I'm sure we'll talk about this later.
Hold on, Gio. More. There he is.
Yeah, they're calling him. I mean, not for nothing. If somebody's calling you, you don't look in the window, and then you're the one that ends up getting possessed. The first one, but
what scene was that?
This is like when they sneak in, when they're sneaking back in.
But he got possessed when he opened up the vial.
But this was when he started hearing the voices.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but for me, it didn't work for me, possessed zombie, because there was so many questions. First of all, I would have preferred a demon route because, all right, possessed zombies. So why exactly are you eating whoever you're eating when you're not really? There was too many plot holes in this.
Plot holes.
Way too many plot holes. Where if they would have went the demon route, I think it would have been a lot better. It would have been a little bit more because you have that, which we'll talk about later, the one head zombie. But for me, I just feel like it didn't work because, like that one scene where I thought they were like in a freaking a pothead's rave where they're outside by the tree and everything's going in slow motion, and then you got them just on the ground. I'm like, oh,
it's like a bad rock video, bro.
It was terrible. I mean, there was potential. If they would have went the possessed demons, I think I would have kind of thought differently about this film. But for me, possession and zombies, just like you said, it's not done often, but when it's done in certain ways, it works. This one didn't work for me. And I think the fact that's another thing. If you're going to do zombies and you don't have the gore, then why are you doing zombies?
I respect that.
But I did like I'll give him one prop. I did like the look on the makeup and stuff and the blood. I give him props on that. The look was cool, but that's about it.
Joe, the psychologist. So he's mentioned the blood and the makeup, and the one thing that weird janky, the way they moved and shit, and all that stuff.
That's the only thing you found weird?
No, not the only thing, but it's I don't know. It's a low hanging fruit. What you say, brother?
I mean, for me, like I told you guys, when I was looking for the movies for us to watch to do this, I was like, listen, obviously you guys have seen another movie that did possess zombies. For me, it was the first. Not just that, this is the first, I guess, Malaysian horror movie. So I'm like, all right.
Really? No, I wouldn't. First Malaysian?
From some of the stuff if
if
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
No, I didn't look into it.
Well, no, but side note, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from what I understood, this was the first Malaysian horror movie. So I'm like, all right, I never heard of possessed zombies. I didn't think of the throwback to demons.
Demons, absolutely, 100%.
Right. I didn't put that, but I'm like, all right, this might be cool. We love movies about possessions. We love movies about zombies. We got a show about zombies. How can this go wrong? It did. It did. I mean, and like for me, I wanted to just say that the budget had a lot to do with it, and it probably did. You know, doing. I guess I'm gonna have to check out Demons because I didn't see Demons. So
You've
that's
seen
why,
Demons?
no,
Never.
So, no. So that's what I'm trying to say. For me, this is the first time the concept of a possessed demon sounded interesting.
Well,
I'm
there's
sorry.
two.
Possessed
Also,
zombie.
Night of the Demons too. But watch
Yes.
both Demons and Night of the Demons.
But
And watch the remake of Night of the Demons too. Awesome.
But see, but
Sounds
you're
pretty
saying demons, so those
Good
are
shit,
demons,
JR, good
though. But those are demons, so like a possessed zombie. I know I fucked up a couple times.
That's okay, brother, because I know what you mean. Because in Demons, they essentially look like zombies too. You know.
So yeah, I mean, part of me is just gonna blame, for them the budget. If the person who had the idea for this maybe had some financial backing to come up with more, he could have done a little bit better.
Yep.
Besides now having to check those movies, with anybody coming out with something new, the thought of a possessed zombie, it could be pulled off if you think about it, which I guess when we talk about, him later on. But yeah, it just, oh man, I was so disappointed watching it because I was looking forward to seeing something new, and it would just, yeah.
I wouldn't say it was more the low budget. It was a crappy storyline.
Well, they were going teenager wise, obviously.
Yeah, it's just the storyline wasn't. You know what this was? This was basically a watered down ripoff of The Sadness.
Nah, I wouldn't go that.
The black guys, they turned it black eyes.
Oh yeah, that's more of an Asian thing. Yeah. Look,
yeah.
I
mean, but demons' eyes turn black though.
Yeah,
no,
but
they say demons.
But
that's
for them
just
to be like zombie, like
I got you. Yeah.
But it's like for me, I think it was just more the storyline because while it was low budget, the look of the demons didn't look really too low budget to me. It looked like
they did on something.
But for me, I just think the plot and the storyline weren't well thought of. We're like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this because let's be honest, when you watch the first couple minutes of this film, you get a Camp Crystal Lake vibe going because they're basically in the woods. And then you go, he finds this vial or whatever, and then you get all these symbols. And then he goes to the freaking thing, and then all of a sudden, he becomes possessed. But yet you still didn't really understand how that got to this and how was it possible.
They never explained anything.
No. And this is where vagueness did not work out.
Good shot. Yeah.
Nope.
The one thing that really irked me, and it's not a knock on the film, but one of the lead characters is the Warrior's sister. That her hat just annoyed the fuck out of me. Like, just take a fucking hat off already, man. What the hell is this shit? That's like a fucking condom on her head, bro. Anyway, for me, you mentioned the budget. I think I'm just spitballing here, but it must have been a pandemic related because they're in a school and they're sneaking in. I missed the soccer game completely, but
it was
But all these zombies, if you want to call them that, there's a lot of them, right? They said 29 people, 27, I think, 27 people that the teacher guy was in charge of. Bro, that school was so barren. I thought it was only Warbur's group. That's a World of Warcraft player. JR knows. Warriors group only had a few people in it. I thought that was like a private school or some shit. Where the fuck was everybody? Yeah. That place was so barren, so empty. But yet there was possessed people everywhere. Where were they? So you never had a lot of people on screen at once. So I'm thinking maybe it was a pandemic issue where the budget couldn't allow, or not just that, but the restrictions couldn't allow too many people at once on screen. Because this is 2022. It must have been filmed a couple years prior. So this would have put it in peak COVID. So I don't know. It's weird. I thought it was a private school for just these guys. Maybe they were, I don't know. It just didn't make sense why there was so many in like possessed people, but you never see, aside from the bullies and the in the movie that were picking out Warriors and his boys, you didn't see nobody on top of the security guard, the teacher, and maybe the one superintendent guy that was in the beginning of the film.
Yeah,
and the one old lady that was in the car. And that's the only people you saw besides the main character. So There was no budget.
the one that gave them the like saying, oh, the people are getting possessed in town.
That's another thing. So, okay, she knew about that. Why wasn't it explored more? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they knew another village was possessed, and it happened. I used to walk with my dad. We used to go to Bursley Park, and here in Connecticut is a park. You know, we go walk laps around it. There was this one doll head that was behind this fence that was closed off. A random, just only the head. And we always walked by, and we always saw it. And I'm like, I asked my dad, if you were to, would you pick that up? He's like, oh no. So this motherfucker's walking. He finds this weird vial. Not only does he pick it up, he opens and he drops it, and he's examining it. I don't understand what the fuck he was thinking. Joe, what's up with this motherfucker? Worry, son.
All right. So that scene, because when he walked up on it, first of all, myself, and I would have turned around. I mean, there would have been no fucking movie because I would have walked up and went, nope.
He was a photographer, so maybe
I get it,
but
you
even
still
that,
walk up on something.
He was still stupid. He was
right,
still stupid.
Carved into the wood. You know, it was red. You got this shit all around. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess maybe because I'm Puerto Rican, you know, from the island, brujeria, santeria.
Yes.
No, turn the fuck around. And
that's
you go
the first thing I thought of too, bro.
Thank you. You see something like that, you're like, nope.
That's why I see that doll head. I ain't picking it up.
Yeah, no.
I walk into a vial. Ricky Grimes is picking it up.
No, I wouldn't pick any, and I wouldn't even tell my friends because I know I would have that one stupid friend that was going to go to check it out and then be the one that got possessed. This is where like the plot hole is and why the movie didn't give you enough information. So, what was this like possession or curse or I mean, nothing really behind it.
Poorly done too, because
ambiguity.
He didn't even inhale the smoke or nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You guys love ambiguity, and in this one it didn't work.
It's done right.
You got nothing on this curse that turns, infects someone, and then can turn other people into zombies. There was a lot of lack in information as far as why, if somebody touched this, sniffed it, because I guess that's what supposedly happened. Then the little smoke came out. It's like there's no story. There's literally in almost anything that we see in these.
Hold on. This movie, I just thought about the whole plot of this film revolves around the guy picking up some random vial and dropping it. Ugh!
And then
that caused everything.
That caused everything.
This is what this movie does. How are you, JR? What's up with you, man? Like, how'd you feel about that possessing bullshit?
All right, it's funny because not for nothing, you could either go two ways with the whole writing on that thing. It could have been a protection or whatever spell. That's why I looked at it. Was it a protection spell at first? And then him breaking the vial basically released whatever was supposed to be.
I like that, but the problem is the film didn't even
do it. It didn't do it. And then, not for
my
nothing.
man right here just made a better plot within seconds with just not even a microsecond of additional information, and that's all it needed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then to top it off, not for nothing, we've seen plenty of horror movies, and so did the friends of Wari. When he's puking up blackness, and they just sit there. I'm sorry, I'm out. Dude,
yeah,
I'm out.
I'm out.
You cool and stuff, but
this guy said it's food poisoning. He got puking tar out of his fucking.
Yeah. And then this is the part that had me dying because this one I didn't understand at all. So the way to repel these demons is with a flashlight.
Light. It was light.
No, their eyes, right?
Well, I remember they were going in certain rooms that had light and stuff like that, but then a direct flashlight to your face.
Well, if you're a zombie, why would a light bother you like that?
If you're possessed, why would a light
possessed? I guess that's the possession part of the zombification.
To be fair, in the original Night of the Living Dead, Romero zombies originally were afraid of fire. Which didn't make sense either. Because why would they be afraid of fire?
Well, because that's still, hold on. Because a natural human feeling is that fire still scares. Fire burns. Fire hurts.
So
the zombies still had some of the human part that go, fire no good. Yeah.
No, but
This
the funny
did not
thing
do
is-
that.
Well said. Well said. Good.
The funny thing is,
Good.
flashlight.
My boy.
They turn around, and start running. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
These demons are possessed. They're running away from flashlight, and the warrior character could have been a better antagonist, and it was just so flat.
You know what? You're right. If they would have doubled down on Rory as like the leader and speaking and
Yes.
talking to his other zombie horde, communicating and if they would have doubled down on that would have been fucking cool.
Remember this horror movie from back in the 80s, and it took place in a church, and there was evil outside of the church, and then there was a mirror that basically was the doorway to hell, and one person got possessed, and they started all getting possessed one by one. Oh my god, I'm gonna die because I forgot the name of this movie. I know, Joe, you should know this movie because
That's not a Carpenter film, right?
I think
I
it was
literally went.
Prince of Darkness, right?
Prince of Darkness. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carpenter, bro.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Prince of Darkness,
classic, bro.
if they would have had Wari the whole time standing in the lawn or
The
whatever,
Alice Cooper
as,
character.
as these things are attacking, I think it would have been a better type of film because now you have him as the main antagonist just standing there while his minions do everything. So
Yeah.
it would have gave it more of a feel to it.
Yeah.
And it was just so bad because like the communication was terrible. These things are freaking screaming and howling the stupid things, and all the deaths were predictable. They were so freaking predictable.
Can I just not to? They squealed like fucking pigs.
Yeah.
That drove me nuts.
Yeah, they did.
Like literally squealed like pigs. It's like they like zombies don't like
Hey, Joe, can you replicate that for us?
replicate what?
Can
No.
you? No. How are you, Joe? Can you do it?
No, I'm not doing
No,
that.
Go.
No, but yeah, I mean, it was just so badly done that
Now I want to do it, but I just can't remember it.
we'll do it. For me, you had a big potential with the warrior character being a good antagonist. You had a chance to actually fix the film midway through, and because I don't know if it was a lazy script, lazy directing, they just said, "Oh, let's keep running with it." And then you had that one scene, like I go back to where Warrior's standing in next to a tree. There's lighting behind them, and they're all doing like their EDM shit, on the ground, and it goes slow motion, and then it was I'm sorry, man, Warrior.
More to
Well,
slow motion.
the one thing is like because where I thought that the possessed zombie thing came into really, I guess, Wari being the one that got possessed. Once he attacked the first person, and then that's where the zombie part came because they all then transmitted to each other. What JR said, because he's the possessed one, or he's the different one, and then transmute that way, where he'd be able to control that. So yeah, like honestly, the movie had so much potential.
On paper, it's a good film, but it's just I don't know if it's a combination of the restrictions, the budget, or just bad
plot, the storyline,
bad script.
Give you more information. Like it was just
like there's one scene, bro, with the guy, the security guy, and the girl she's fixing the actual generator. The horde is coming, and I forgot which character. Oh, the other guy was I forgot his name. The skinnier guy with the weird bob haircut. Yeah. Anyway, he's running in, and they open the door. Come on! They let him in. The security guy goes out with a bat, is bashing him, and what these motherfuckers do? They lock him out. Like, bro, he just helped you. Why are you locking him out for? They can't. He died. Like, what the fuck was that? Before we close this out, who can answer me this? The teacher with the cast. Like, how was he infected? He said, "Oh, I'm gonna be one of them soon. Go, leave." When did he get bit?
Actually, I don't remember him.
He got bit on the cast, but he had a cast on. You can't bite.
I don't remember him getting.
Exactly. So when he stood there dying, looking at the picture of his family, then he got the gas running, then he hits the lighter. What the fuck happened to him? When did he become infected?
Another plot hole.
Worse than delete a scene or something?
You know, it's the worst thing when you read the synopsis. It's more based on the teacher. And the teacher would have passed.
He's the main character.
It was irrelevant. It did not matter.
Nothing.
Nobody cared.
See, I thought originally when I saw this, I thought he already was infected. He was hiding it. But then obviously he didn't turn quickly enough. He wasn't. This was days already because he got the cast from an accident. He didn't get bit and got a. I don't know. It's you know what, man. Yeah.
That's why halfway through when I saw that, I'm like, if anything, I know they're gonna be mad, but
No, I
if we're
wasn't
gonna-
mad.
well, no, hold on, mad because it's not a great movie.
It's okay. Yeah,
But at the same time, I said, this is what we do.
I still had fun with it though.
And
To be honest with you,
Did
It was
you
so-
though?
Because it was so silly. I
hold
kept
on,
pointing out
but-
stupid shit.
I didn't point this out. So while I was watching the movie, I was messaging you. We were talking about like other shit. I'm like, oh, did you see this? So I tell you before, if I'm on my phone, and not only am I on my phone, I'm on my phone during a movie where you have to read.
Closing thoughts. Anything else you need to say about the film? And let's hear your score. I'm gonna start with JR, my boy.
Yeah, after watching this film, I wish I was exercised because I just can't get the Incredible Hulk out of my mind and shit. Because that scene, I rewinded it 3 or 4 times just to see it over and over again. I took the picture just to send it to you. It's like, look at this dude's. I'm a fan of lighting. Now, granted, this movie has some good lighting, but that
lighting was bad, bro. That
That
lighting
got
was
me so mad. I'm like, what are you trying to prove here?
He sent me that picture like, why is he so wet? Yeah, he's sweating. He's sweating. Jesus Christ, where is he at? He's back in the Hills Have Eyes and the
Oh my god!
Mojave Desert.
And I'm a massive international film fan, and the minute I've seen TV-14, I rarely have ever seen any international films that have a TV-14 PG-13 rating.
To intercut, unless it's a paranormal film, I could deal with it, but a zombie film, nah.
But
brother.
even then, you rarely see a TV-14 PG-13 international horror film. They're always TVMA.
Yeah.
Because they like to push the boundaries.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen a film that was so scared to push the boundaries. You have zombies. You have one scene where Wari basically bites somebody. He's like, I never seen somebody chewing.
That's the
and
only
enjoying
gore
it.
you see it. Mind
This
you.
dude
Yeah.
he was enjoying it like it was a flaming young because he had it here for a while and stuff. I was like, all right, he's gonna save that shit for later because it's just sitting there. But man, it was just had potential, massive plot holes.
So my man said this movie's stupid. I'm gonna give it a 2. What say you, Joe the psychologist?
This is gonna be a fun one. Honestly, I'm just gonna end it with, I agree with JR.
So he gives it a 2. He gives it a 2 as well. I'm gonna go 2.5 only because it's bad, but I still had fun with it because it was bad. I'm looking at him like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't. Now I'd rather take this over. I'm say it. I Am Lisa and Bloodthirsty. I'll take it over those 2 films. But yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired. Where's all the other faculty?
Yeah, I know that's another.
Just the one guy with the
It's
cast?
literally, I don't know, like literally.
What the fuck? It's crazy when JR is the one that likes the movie the most out of the 3 of us. That's saying something. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm your boy, Ricky Thrives, my boy, JR, the boss, Joe the psychologist, movies that fucked me up. Let's get out of here. Thank you for watching this review. Possessed 2022. Watch it on Netflix. You've been warned. And with that being said, stay scared. Because you ain't gonna be scared watching this shit.
Nope.